Because the gospel is the power of God unto salvation. It is the power of God unto salvation. Romans 1:16. I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God unto salvation. And the word salvation means full recovery. Number 3. Why is the gospel so important? Number 3. It is the light of life. It is the light of life. Now, did I give you? Yeah, let me give you the scripture for that. It is the light of life. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. 2 Corinthians 4:4. It is the light of life. The gospel carries the light. When you have the gospel, when you believe the gospel, you have light. It doesn't matter how dark your situation will be, there will always be a way out. Number 4, why is the gospel so important? The gospel is life producer. The gospel produces life. When you believe the gospel, it produces life. Anytime something is dying and you inject the belief of the gospel in it, life checks back. Mark 8:35. And I want to read it. Look at Mark 8:35. In Mark 8:35, for whosoever shall save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's shall save it. So the gospel is life-saving medicine. And that is why it is so important. That is why it is so important. Now, when we receive or when we believe the gospel, there are benefits. Now, I'll just give you 2 and we are done. Number 1 is that it guarantees our citizenship identity. This is so powerful. Please write it and I'll explain it. The first benefit of believing the gospel, is that when you believe the gospel, when I believe the gospel, it guarantees our citizenship identity. The world is suffering from identity crisis. The same problem that the devil brought to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden is what the world is facing today. Listen, all these things that you hear about, ladies and gentlemen, it is about identity crisis. The devil knows that if he can get you to lose your identity, you will lose your benefit. I tell you, when you shall know who you are. You see, the devil came to them to tell them that you are not who God says you are. You are somebody trapped in who God says you are. You have an identity crisis. This is not you. That moment, you see, look at that. He said, and God knows, then your eyes shall be open and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. The world was bitten by the devil with identity crisis and they lost everything that they must have. In the same instance, the enemy came to Jesus and gave him a false identity. But Jesus knew who he was. Jesus knew that he was not trapped in a wrong body. He knew his identity. He knew his identity. The world is suffering from identity crisis. When you receive the gospel, ladies and gentlemen, it will surely guarantee your identity. Now, let me give you a scripture to it, and then you understand what I'm talking about. And remember, until your right identity is established, there are certain accesses you can never have in life. Yeah, there are certain accesses you can never have in life.